Good day, everyone. This is Jack from the Nintendo Podcast System. Unfortunately, I'm all on my own tonight, or today, or wherever you're listening. Matthew is unfortunately not here. He is unavailable. He's very busy. It's Christmas and all that. So I thought, rather than just wait for another podcast next couple of weeks or next month, why don't I try and do a quick solo podcast and just go talk through a few things with you guys, one-to-one, real, nice and privately. I mean, I know I did a single podcast before, and it was really, really tough to do. I've never been very good at talking to myself, so it's very unusual. But I thought I'd just have a quick word and just wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's both from me and Matthew, and everyone else who's been on the podcast before, including guests and things and stuff like that. But yeah, we're very busy, and we're trying to keep up with things and trying to find time to record new podcasts. But, you know, it's always difficult. We're trying to organise schedules and things like that. So, unfortunately, we haven't been able to do a proper episode. So, unfortunately, you got just me. Yeah, so with that, shall we just go straight into the What Have We Been Playing?
Do a barrel roll!
Okay, so what have I been playing? Well, obviously Smash Bros come out this month, and basically that's the only game I've really properly been playing through the whole month on the Switch, if I'm honest. I've been going through the World of Light quite a lot. I'm going to try and do this as spoiler-free as possible, but just bear in mind that this may be impossible for me to do. So, going through the spirit world, World of Light, it's all about facing off against different spirits and unlocking them as characters in the game. You can use those characters to up your skills and powers throughout the rest of the levels. As far as I'm aware, I have nearly completed it. Now I say this nearly because there's been at least 2-3 times where I think, okay, we've done hundreds of levels, got through it all and reached to this next area, but we still seem to be playing the same game in the same place. It still continues and carries on, and I've had so many boss fights and all sorts, and it still seems to be getting tougher and harder and more worlds unlocking and more things to do, and it just seems never ending. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely got its there's definitely enough there to keep you busy and keep you interested in unlocking more things as we go. I'm sorry for the notifications that keep coming through on my computer. They obviously just decided to start up as soon as I do a podcast. How annoying. Yes, Smash Bros. Online, I've been playing a few games on there. Every now and then I've had some dodgy matches where the connections keeps going, which is still kind of frustrating. That's always been a problem with most Smash games online, if I'm honest. Very frustrating, but when you do get a good game on there, it is quite fun to play. I know Mickey, who previously guested on the podcast, he's commented on the fact that you can't choose the online matches you have. It's two different sort of settings of things you have. You can set a preference, but you don't always get that preference if there's no one else who has the same preference as you. So you'll just get chucked into a random match willy-nilly kind of thing. So it is kind of frustrating the way it's been developed that way. However, it's still fun to just sort of jump on and have some fun matches with people whenever possible kind of thing. And it's just, in general, a really, really well-made, fantastic game. The new characters play really well. The thoughts on the spirit world itself is absolutely extraordinary. So some of those battles they've created are really, really creative. So, just talking through some other games quickly. I picked up Pokemon Let's Go the previous month, and I've not really played much more of it, if I'm honest. I've got as far as Fuchsia City just after the Snorlax and haven't really played it since. And unfortunately, another notification. Sorry. Yeah. So ever since then, it's been kind of like that. It's been not really had much time to play that. I think over the Christmas period now, I'm off work for in 10 days, so I'll probably have a bit more time to play that. But I did also pick up Starlink, which I've not yet played. Picked that up for about £40 from Amazon, which is kind of frustrating because I found that in game this week it's only £20. A game that originally came out for £70. So I don't know if that's a worry for Starlink. It sounds like something might be going a bit wrong there. Maybe they didn't get as many sales as they wish, and that's why the price dropped so suddenly. Or it might be a loss leader a game have done to get people to come in, buy the Switch and buy this game with it, kind of thing. So I don't know. It's strange how that sort of worked out. So I don't know if that's the real reason, or if Starlink itself did struggle in sales. I've not seen anything official from Ubisoft about sales of Starlink, so maybe that is a thing. But maybe we'll find more information on that and check it out for the next podcast. Oh my god, why do these notifications keep popping up? Right, anyway. So a couple of days ago, I went out for a few drinks for Christmas with the Hampshire Gaming Hub Southampton Game Fest teams. Some of the devs that were involved as well. We were lucky enough to have the fantastic Xenocrisis upcoming game for the Switch. I'm getting quite friendly with a guy called Mike, who is a member of the Bitmap Bureau, the developers behind that game. Lovely chap. I'm still going to help him promote his game as much as I can, and hopefully talk to you guys about it. If I can get a chance to get an interview with him in the future, that should be something interesting for the podcast and YouTube and things like that. But I just want to sort of mention our Christmas party, because he decided to buy all of us a copy of FIFA from varying different years. Apparently he only spent £1 on each one, so thanks for that, Mike. There's 6 different copies of FIFA from 2002 to 2016, so wow, random. But I wanted to bring him up because while in one of our local pubs, the Shooting Star in Southampton, they have a Neo Geo machine in there, and we were playing some Puzzle Bubble, which is a game by Taito, the Japanese company. It's basically like a puzzle game where you shoot bubbles at other bubbles, and they got them to do like a colour matching sort of game. It's very difficult to describe this in the podcast, I don't know why. But basically this is one of my favourite games, puzzle games wise. It's one of my favourites of all time, so I thought I'd just tell you about the fact that we end up playing that game all night and finishing it. So from that, I had a look online today. I'm recording this on Christmas Eve, just to date the podcast. So basically I had a look online, and they released Puzzle Bubble this month for the Switch, but it's the old Pocket Neo Geo version. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I looked how much it was, less than £7. I think it was about £6.35, something random like that. And that was an immediate purchase for me. So I had a quick go on there. Really fun game, worth a pick up for a quick couple, maybe about half-hour play, maybe something around there. But yeah, it's a really fun game, really worth picking up, and I believe it has online multiplayer as well. So if anyone's interested in the next couple of days and wants to play me in Puzzle Bubble or any other Switch game in that fact, just message us via Twitter and on either at N Podcast System, or at Corny7789, or with Matthew at ASkibbo. Cool. From that, I think that's basically all I've been playing, other than a few PC games which probably don't really want to mention here. Well, there's one, there's the Transport Tycoon Deluxe of all things. I've been playing that online, so yeah, very geeky, that one. But that's cool, all fun and games, hopefully, yeah. So let's move into the news.
Do a barrel roll.
So Christmas time. So the news is very sporadic at best, shall we say. Basically, the only thing I can tell you is that the Nintendo Switch has been selling like hotcakes. It's become the fastest selling video game system this generation, even beating the PS4 numbers at the moment. So that's quite incredible amount of sales they've had in the last few weeks, and they seem to be on target to hit their big target for the end of the year, which was very surprising for me, if I'm honest. So I think we spoke about it last podcast that we thought it might be a little bit short of their overall target, but even said, that is a phenomenal bit of business so they've done there to get that game system out there, and people are actually buying it now. So it's fantastic to see. Another little tidbit of news. This was a random one I saw today as well. A guy has robbed a place in America, and he had his NES Zapper taped up in black like not sellotape, but like black tape kind of thing, like electric tape, all surrounded by this on this one thing. I'm just going to pick up the news story here just so I can get all the details for it, because I saw it and it was such a clever idea to rob a place with it, but not so clever to say that like you're going to achieve something from doing this. It does look quite convincing when it's wrapped in full tape, to be fair, but there's obviously no wires attached. He's had to cut that off, but apparently it was in a bank workers in Mexico. This was the bank was robbed, but yeah, very strange. But apparently the man was taken down by local police, and basically he has been involved in 15 other crimes in the same sort of thing. So it just shows that some people are really stupid but can get away with it for quite some time. But eventually you do get taken back in by the cops. So don't do bad stuff, people. Yeah, so like I said, this was always going to be a short and very sweet episode. I'm just going to run through quickly a few releases which are going to be coming in January. We've got 20 new games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch, confirmed on Nintendo.co.uk. Oh, sorry, a Nintendo Switch or 3DS. There's a couple of games of 3DS as well. So of those listed, I thought I'd just pick up a few here. We have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is the port of the one that was on the Wii U. That's coming out in January. We have Tales of Vesperia, quite a large series that Tales of from Japan. Very like interesting fan base there. They've got some definitely committed people, and it'd be great to see another one of their games on the Switch. Always sold very well over here for some reason. We have Omniscia Warlords, which is an old sort of Japanese samurai-like game, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I just saw that briefly. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, the sequel is the next month as well. Smite is coming to Nintendo Switch. I think it's already on Xbox and PS4, so it's not just a matter of time it was going to come over, I believe. But yes, that's another popular open world mass multiplayer online game, so interesting. We've got Valiant Hearts coming to the Switch, which is a 2D story-based sort of game where you follow the story and solve puzzles with this one old chap and his little dog. So yeah, that's quite a fun start for the game. That's also available on other systems already, I believe. I think it's just a game that's taken a while to come to the Switch for some reason. Don't know why. For the 3DS, we have Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story, and Bowser's Jr.'s Journey. So that's another interesting little game for if the Mario and Luigi series. If I've never played that one actually, to be fair, so I might pick that one up. I still need to pick up Luigi's Mansion as well because I missed that from last month, so which is kind of silly. But to be fair, my 3DS is currently there's no charge in it. I've not played it for months since WarioWare Gold come out, so maybe I need to recharge that and give those two games a go. So that's for January. Within the next few months, because we're getting pretty close to the end of the year anyways, we've got Toe Jam and Earl coming the 1st of March. That's now been confirmed. I think it was only Q1 before, but now confirmed the 1st of March. Which is the sequel, not the original game. It is a sequel to that game as far as I'm aware. I don't know how much further they could take that game, but we'll soon find out. We have Yoshi's Crafted World coming to the Switch in spring 2019, which is looking quite fun and very similar to Woolly World, but with more crafting, cardboard and things like that in that. Sort of a mix between Yoshi's Woolly World and Paper Mario, maybe sort of that sort of esque like in design, but it's still very much a Yoshi game kind of thing. Wargroove is coming at Q1 in 2019, so I'm hoping that to be a March date. Yes, that is the Advance Wars like new game coming from the team that made Stardew Valley, or publishers of Stardew Valley. I think they're publishing and creating the game. That is coming Q1 2019, as I said. So looking forward to that one, definitely. That was on my top ones to buy list, definitely. We have the next game is Fire Emblem Three Houses, which I obviously will not be buying because it's a Fire Emblem game and it's not for me. Sorry, Matt. But if you are interested in that, that's coming out in spring as well. So hopefully that'll be something you can enjoy. Excellent. And I know, I'm sorry, it's only like a really short, like 15-minute or so episode so far, but I cannot go too much longer with my voice on my own. It's really difficult, so sorry guys. Just going to move into the shout-outs.
Do a barrel roll.
Okay, so shout-outs. I only wanted to say thank you very much, everyone who's downloaded this podcast or listened to it on YouTube, on iTunes, on Podomatic, on the other places which I can't think of at the moment. Why can't I think of them? Oh my god. Spotify. That's one of the places you can now listen to the podcast. I believe through Spotify you can also listen to it on an Alexa devices. Sorry if I just set off your device by saying, Alexa, buy me a pizza. Ha! Sorry. Oh dear. Apparently my Alexa heard me. Oops.
A few moments later.
Yes, so thank you very much to everyone who's listened throughout the year. It's excellent that you've been with us for so long. If you've only just started listening to us and you're just joining the crazy podcasting journey that me and Matt have gone through, and previously with Sam and Jason as well on the podcast in the last couple of years. I'm very disappointed to lose Sam. I think he gave us definitely gave us a different light on different games that me and Matthew might not necessarily play, and it was good to have someone in there all the time that can give us that sort of help us out a little bit, because sometimes when me and Matt go at it together too much, maybe we like talk too much at each other rather than to each other kind of thing. So especially when we mentioned Doug and Romper and things like that, of course. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much everyone for being here. We really do appreciate it. We're going to try our best to do as many episodes as we can going forward, and from then it would be brilliant if you can come with us and help us out with this by sharing the podcast out to your friends. If you've got Nintendo friends who might be interested, please share the podcast out. We're always looking for guests as well, so if anyone's interested to be our guest on the podcast, please feel free to message us. We would happily have you on any time if you want to talk about a certain subject. If there's a certain game coming out in the next couple of weeks and you want to talk about it, please come on, and we'd love to hear from you all, absolutely. And we try and get our own guests ourselves as well, and I know that they had a big few this year, and we've done really well with guest wise, but sometimes it's difficult to just do it in terms of scheduling and things like that, but we'll always try and work our ways around it. Like if you want us to, we can record with you and do one-on-ones and things like that, so it's not a problem. But I'd like to get more guests on, more people on, and just in general just have a really good podcast and make it more professional going forward. Well, more professional than it has been. So yeah, thank you all for your brilliant support. I want to just give a personal message to Matthew. We've done it for a good 3-4 years now. It's been crazy how long we're still doing it. So I'm still enjoying every minute of it. I'm hoping he's got the same sort of feelings, otherwise this could be a very short podcast too. But yeah, I think overall it's been brilliant. So hopefully we can continue it on throughout the next year, and we can celebrate our new birthday and things like that. I've promised Trodge, shout out to you, Trodge. I promised you a long time ago I'd do another Nintendo quiz, and I'm going to make sure we hold you to that. I'm going to try and get it in for either the next couple of episodes or within the next couple of months. So we'll do a big quiz, and hopefully everyone else can join in and let us know how well you did. We do like big scores and see if we can do a scoreboard or something like that. That should be fun, shouldn't it? So cool. So I think after that, we've had 20 minutes of your time at Christmas already, and I think that's more than enough than should be given. So Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I'm just going to leave you with our Twitter handles. We've got @NPodcastSystem for the podcast Twitter. Send us anything on there, any questions, anything you want to ask in the podcast, any shout outs, anything. We will do it for the next episode, guaranteed. Personal one, @Gorney7789. I also have a YouTube channel, and I also do lots of other little bits and pieces in terms of event running and things like that. So if you're interested in anything and that sort of thing, feel free to talk to me about it, and I can sort of help direct you anywhere I can help, things like that. So but yeah, that's cool. And if you wanted to get in contact with Matthew, he is @ACEGibbo on Twitter. Matt does write in for lots of different places. I know recently he had Nintendo Switch Players Mag, who had an article, one of his articles in. So if you follow that, you may have already read one of his articles. I know he's trying to get to a few other places in the next couple of weeks, so hopefully you'll see a few more of his articles going out. But yeah, that's @AceGibbo if you want to find him. Podcast can be found on all sorts of places, on Podomatic, YouTube, other places which I can't remember again. So just have a look on our Twitter page, and I'll link all the places you can find it on this episode. Okay? Thanks again, everyone, for your kind support throughout the year. I hope you have a fantastic Christmas, and I hope you have an excellent New Year as well. So thank you very much all, and we will see you in the next year. Okay? Bye-bye now. Happy gaming.